Planet X, tickets to the underground cities have been delivered. Do you have yours? By now, you have all received your tickets to the underground cities, and you're prepared to go there where it will be safe. As you know, there wasn't room for everyone, and so some were not given tickets. For this reason, we have codenamed the underground cities, referring to them as Hell or the Hell Hole. Remember that. Please understand the reasons why some did not get tickets. Some people are not as intelligent as others. Should we have smart people like Al Gore and Hillary Clinton, or stupid people like those who drink fluoridated water? Some people have a college degree, and they should be saved, unless it's in liberal arts or basket weaving. That's not a real degree. Those with scars have been excluded because scars are ugly. The underground cities are only for the beautiful people. The royalty are beautiful, aren't they? Prince Charles is homely, but Diana was pretty. Of course, she dated a swarthy-skinned man, and so the Queen had her 86th. She might have been pregnant with his child. The Queen couldn't have that. It would have ruined the good name of the royalty, who let kids in Africa starve to death and kids in India die of thirst. Speaking of Africa, Bill Gates got his ticket, and he's bringing plenty of vaccines in case some African kids get into the underground cities by mistake. He'll just vaccinate them, and poof, they're gone. Then Bill Gates can live in an all-white world. I live in Arizona, and my skin's pretty dark now that it's summer. I hope Bill Gates doesn't spot me. I might not be white enough for him, and he might force me to have an inoculation like he did those black kids in Africa. All those who planned the 9/11 attack and killed innocent Americans have tickets because they are on the inside track, you know. Besides, they have $950 billion worth of gold that was stored in those twin towers, and you have to have them on the invitee list. They're rich. All those in the Committee of 300 are ticketed because many of them are royalty, and some are filthy rich as well. None of them give a rat's ass about the dirt bags, but nobody's perfect. If the world didn't have the service to self types, there wouldn't be any progress at all. No wars and no opportunity to make a buck from the bloodshed. But down in hell, they might have to control their warlike instincts, because we don't want any wars down there. One blast could use up all the available oxygen and make difficult breathing for the beautiful people down there in the hellhole. Don't bring winter clothing because the temperature is always perfect in hell, maintained at 72 degrees Fahrenheit, and swimming pools are always 80 degrees like bath water. Please just bring only what you need. There isn't a lot of room down there. If you had sprawling mansions on the surface, you might not be quite as comfortable down in hell, and all of us are going to have to make concessions in order to get along. Some of you are concerned about the activities on the surface. Landslides might cover up an exit hatch from hell, and some of you worry about the transport system during an earthquake. You will always be safe in hell when you use the transport system. Earthquakes could sever a rail line that connects to all the other underground cities. Don't worry, we have considered this, and if the earth shifts, we have sensors which tell us immediately, and we won't send trains down that rail at high speed until the damage has been repaired. We have plenty of slaves to do the work, and we have all the boring machines necessary to drill through rock. Those machines can cut 7 miles per day, so any earthquake that shifts rock and causes a line to be blocked will be repaired in just a day or two. We will have breakfast served in bed, and your laundry will be picked up daily by the attendants. Tipping is not necessary. The attendants work for food, and they're happy to get it. They are fed from the returned trays of our regular guests. You won't need any money, and the help is plentiful. We included many of them, and they are young and have good organs in case you need something like a liver or a kidney. Remember, you are the elite, and you deserve to live. Dog-meat common people deserve to die, and we have not provided any provisions for the dirt bags. Let's talk about timing now. At the end of this year, 2012, the Planet X complex will reach the perihelion. which is the closest that Planet X gets to the Sun in its 3,650-year cycle. This occurs on approximately December 23rd, 2012. After this date, there could be electrical discharges between Planet X and the Sun, causing enormous solar flares, and so you will want to be in the underground long before this date, just in case. Don't tell anyone on the surface about this because it's still kept secret. Don't worry, they will find out soon enough. We are just months away from this now. Marshall Masters put out a video about it, and if the dirtbags want to see it, they can go there and see it. He spills the beans and tells everyone that the Planet X complex, that is the dwarf star and 7 planets and their moons, will be rising up from the southern location and passing near the Earth over the months following the perihelion. Since Planet X has been gathering electrical charge, like a capacitor, as it has been traveling through space, it will have to discharge this energy, and Marshall Masters has appropriately called this path from its southern location to the elliptic plane the kill zone. Think of it this way. Imagine a scale model of the Sun and all the planets on your round wooden dining room table. Planet X, however, is on the floor and rising up to the table level. At some point, it is on the same plane as the other planets. If a discharge of electrical energy takes place when Planet X is at the same level as the other planets, this could cause a solar flare that could cook the planets. This electrical discharge could also be between the Planet X complex and other planets. Earth could be zapped by a bolt of lightning that's larger than all the bolts of lightning that have struck the Earth in the past 100,000 years. Yeah, for real. To the scientifically challenged, just about everything about Planet X seems like sensationalism and fear-mongering, but when Planet X is near the Earth, these scientific crybabies will have diarrhea daily until they die. And all the warnings we make will seem like understatements. How would anyone know what it's like to be on the surface when an electrical discharge takes place? Nobody had that kind of experience and lived to tell about it. Marshall Masters speaks of Val Marinaris on Mars. Some of you know this as the gash in Mars, some 4,000 kilometers long, whereas our own Grand Canyon is a mere 446 kilometers long. Masters implies that this gash might have been caused by an electrical discharge of a passing capacitor or planet system. When you look at the Val Marinaris on Mars, it doesn't look like it was cut by a grazing planet. If this rock was iron-rich, a passing magnet might have just ripped it out and taken it with it. It's like mountain building, but in this case, the rock didn't just rise, it kept rising and went off into space. Or that Val Marinaris on Mars could be the result of an electrical discharge by a capacitor. It looks odd, and it's hard to imagine how this channel might have been cut, so we can't rule out the possibility that it was formed by an electrical discharge of some kind. Should this happen to the Earth while Planet X is passing, we could have a Val Marinaris of our own, except for one thing. The Earth is much larger than Mars. Mars has only 1/11 the mass of Earth. So the Earth could have a Val Marinaris cut that's 10,000 kilometers or more in length. Who knows? We don't get much opportunity to study the passing of a constellation which has built up electrical energy because the discharge is catastrophic, and there wouldn't be many left alive to describe or collect the data. Stay in your bunkers and do not rise to the surface for any reason after the perihelion, and you should be safe. The surface will be poisonous to all who dwell there. High waves will destroy all nuclear power plants near the coastal areas, and the air and water will be contaminated by meltdown, much like Fukushima and, of course, Chernobyl. You are the fortunate ones. You have tickets to the underground cities where you will be safe. After 2014, Planet X will be beyond the kill zone and on its way out of the solar system and will no longer be a threat to us. We can then come back to the surface, have the slaves clean up the mess, and start our civilization over again with only the beautiful people. Some of those on the surface will have survived, but they will have genetic mutations which will make them grotesque, and so we will have to exterminate them lest they contaminate our genes and put our lineage at risk. If you see one, feel free to eliminate them yourself. There will be no consequences of this action, for it is justified for the continuation of our species. We are planning at most only a couple of years in the hole before emerging, and we have taken plenty of supplies to last out the duration of the kill zone, as Marshall Masters calls it. We have hydroponic gardens and electrical generation through zero-point energy devices, so don't worry about power. You will have all that you need. We've been using these devices for decades without anyone knowing about them. After 2014, a return to the surface, we'll see anti-gravity transport vehicles, and we will finally use space to live while we repair the damage done to the Earth. We will begin boarding any day now. This would be a good time to work up a believable reason for your absence so that nobody gets suspicious. It will be impossible to keep the secret forever, since all of us are vanishing at the same time. Take inventory of your belongings and decide what you're going to need in hell. Thanks for listening.
This is why I'd rather do it by myself. Stack money, make music, put my product on the shelf. So many haters, man, it's hard